It's 10 p.m. in Banjul, and this is the News Force, the headlines. Thousands of volunteers from across the country and the neighboring Casamas region descend on Kanilai for the latest round of pre-planting exercise. More fleet to ease road transportation. Gambia Transport Service Company, GTSC, roll out new fleet of buses as part of the company's drive to expand and modernize its operations. A team of people comprising from the National Environment Agency officials and members of the task force on the ban against the manufacturing, importation, retailing and use of plastic bags in the Gambia embark on a visit to plastic manufacturers and store owners in the Kanifing Industrial Area and Banjul. Will Greece stay or opt out of the Eurozone? Athens' embattled government and a worried Eurozone disagree about the future direction of Greece ahead of a crucial referendum. These and other stories coming ahead this half hour. I am MOMODOU NJIE. The President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Al-Haji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jame Babli Mansa, has received Ramadan greetings from the Emir of Kuwait, His Royal Highness Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jabbar Al-Sabah, and the message reads, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatullah. I am directed to address my greetings and warm wishes upon the advent of the holy month of Ramadan, while praying Almighty Allah that the advent of the holy month of Ramadan be renewed every year, bringing bliss and felicity to the Islamic Ummah. I wish to pray that Almighty Allah to keep on granting good health and welfare to your excellency and bestowing further progress and prosperity to your friendly country and its pleasant people. Please accept, Mr. President, the assurances of my highest consideration. The message ends. Another message addressed to Professor Jame comes from Mr. MOMODOU A. Jallo of the press officer at the Office of the President, and the message states, Your Excellency, sir, kindly allow me to commend you for all the humanitarian gestures you have been rendering to us the Muslims, Ummah in particular, during the holy month of Ramadan since you took the mantle of leadership in 1994 to date in the area of sugar, rice and meat. You are indeed a leader who cares about his people at heart. You are a caring leader who always thinks about his people, and you have a clean heart and honest leadership style. We have no doubt that Allah will reward you for all your good deeds. Long live President Jame and the APRC supporters, because you are the one who choose His Excellency the President and the Gambian people, both young and old. Come 2016, the whole world will again know that you are the only choice for us. Please accept the assurances of my highest support and loyalty. The message ends. The heavens have not opened up in some parts of the country, but that has done little or nothing at all to efforts geared towards putting more land under cultivation, especially in Kanilai. Thousands of volunteers recently descended on the President's home village to clear virgin land for planting. Modu Bajan joined the volunteers and he prepares this report.
Get on with the 2015 rainy season. Hundreds of hectares of virgin land is being acclaimed in Kanilai. A move officials say is geared towards the realization of food self-sufficiency. A familiar figure in His Excellency President Jame's farming activities, Major Siri Balde gave a rundown of the farm expansion activity.
We have the NBR that came here to help us in clearing, together with the LRR guy, that is the Kiang. And then we have a lot of, that is Fonyi Bondali, the Casamas people. We have a lot of people here that came to help in clearing, because the rain is not going to wait for us. So we are not supposed to wait for the rain. In view of that, that is why we received directives from His Excellency. We want to expand more, to clear more fields and cultivate more fields. this is going to be a continuous process. We're clearing and then trying, because these are all virgin lands. You clear, put something there, very soon you will harvest. It will be very good.
West Coast Region's Deputy Governor Musa Amulnyasi and his team from Buyam and satellite villages were among workers on the ground. Jong Musu Kamara and Lamin Tombong Baji among volunteers maintained that working towards the actualization of food security and Vision 2016 in particular should be the responsibility of all Gambians.
I think the expansion is all geared towards His Excellency's Vision 2016. As we all know, this is something that he really means.
And how impressive are you as regards the turnout of people despite it being during Ramadan time?
Well, this is a clear manifestation that His Excellency's vision is something that the communities have absorbed. That is why despite Ramadan, people will want to come immediately, they say their early morning prayers, just to ensure that before 12 midday or 1 o'clock, they would have at least, utilized their coming here by ensuring that a vast land is cleared.
Wude and Alfuseni Baji of Fonyi Bondali assured of their ever-committed response to lending a hand at His Excellency's farm, while Binta Jami and Ismaila Koli from Masara and Jalenkin, respectively, disclosed logistics among challenges whose remedy they appealed for. Elsewhere, this part of the vast woodland is being cleared by volunteers from Kiang West. Their intervention was described by many from the constituency, including Honorable Minata Njai and Chief Alaji Omar Jiba among her compatriots, as a self-help initiative for the country's women in particular. The efforts of Sehu Sanyang and Bana Jaju were hailed for mobilizing over 10 communities in the Gambia and Casamance. Among these volunteers, Arabia Tukoli alias Yaya Jame and Ansumana Jame of Bulingo hailed President Jame's food security efforts, which they opined is vital for the Gambia as well as neighboring countries. North Bank region also supplied volunteers for the farm expansion activity, which, as revealed by chiefs including Alaji Jany and Alaji Ibrahim Ansu Tamba Jame, is only for the betterment of the citizenry. Governor Lamin Queen Jame was in their midst.
In fact, just to mention a little of the experience that we have had in our trip coming to Kaninlai, the problem of everybody wanting to go to Kaninlai to help President Jame on the farms. Consequently, there was shortage in the transportation that was provided. Nonetheless, this is a stock-taking period. It is a learning point. Going back to the region, we are more than prepared to contribute and to continue our pace setting that we do in this country.
As there are areas to be cleared and then to be cultivated on, we are going on. And then I'm urging everybody to get up, because the rain is not going to wait for us, because it's time for us to prepare our lands. So I think it's very important for every Gambian to get up at this juncture to make sure that we are all going back to the lands.
Since dependency on food imports is on the increase and costly, initiatives such as Vision 2016, among whose aim is to zero the country's importation of rice, undoubtedly requires increased efforts, and this Kanilai farm expansion exercise is believed to do just that. Modu Bajan, GRTS.
The Gambia Transport Service Company, GTSC, has added 5 new buses to its expanding transport services. The buses are expected to provide easy transportation across the country and serve as an opportunity to provide more services to Gambians traveling across the country. Rahibite reports.
The Gambia Transport Service Company continues to play an instrumental role in making transportation more affordable and reasonable across the length and breadth of the country for all Gambians. The latest development is the introduction of a new fleet of buses at a ceremony held at the Corporation Depot in Kanifing. The arrival of these new buses is well anticipated by the company and its stakeholders, while it serves as an opportunity to provide smooth movement for Gambians, particularly those plying the Trans-Gambia Highway.
GTSC is just 2 years old, exactly today. We rolled out the buses exactly on the 22nd of July, 2013. Since then, it's been generally successful. We've lifted millions of Gambians across the country, length and breadth of the country. And so far so good. I think Gambians are happy with our quality of service we are rendering to them.
Transportation is said to be key in any economic activity, and this is a clear demonstration of the company's commitment to alleviate transportation challenges and ensure that traveling is affordable and convenient for all.
Transportation generates economic activities, and from these economic activities, it will lead to growth in the economy. We may have abundance of labor in one side of the country, We may have abundance of raw material in another part of the country. We may have abundance of land in another area of the country. And in other areas, you may have other factors of production in different areas. But without an efficient transportation network, economic activities will not be developed.
The company has, in this short period, have demonstrated that if you have resolve and collective teamwork, and if a nation is very interested in its people, it will provide the means to alleviate the sufferings of the general Gambian.
Since its inception, the country's main transportation company has registered numerous achievements in providing smooth and reliable transportation fixed with modern facilities, among them air conditions, seat belts, and fire extinguishers to ensure comfortable and safe environment for travelers. However, officials are appealing to their customers to take ownership and pay fares on time.
It's very, very important. Whenever you pay, you should demand for your ticket. The ticket is your passport and retain. You have to retain your ticket for inspection. If you cannot produce a ticket during the inspection, it means you haven't paid or you've given your money away for free.
As the Gambia Transport Service Company continues to live up to expectations by expanding its services, these bosses are expected to further provide more avenues for the corporation, especially in its private hair service operations. Rohibite, GRTS.
The National Environment Agency, NEA, in collaboration with the Task Force on the Ban Against the Manufacturing, Importation, Retailing and Use of Plastic Bags in the Gambia, on Wednesday embarked on the fourth stage of a massive sensitization campaign and inventory exercise on the ban. And as Winifred Nicole Hudibat reports, the team visited major plastic importers and manufacturers in the Greater Banjul area.
The presidential directive banning the manufacturing, importation, retailing and the use of plastic bags in the country. The ban took effect on July 1st, 2015, with the National Environment Agency serving as the implementing agency.
Plastics also are having, when they are burned, they are having three gases that are very detrimental to our health. That is, they are having carbon monoxide, which is very poisonous, and when it's a greenhouse gas, they are having dioxins, and they are having furans. They cause cancer and respiratory problems. So these are, and people are always born in plastic. They thought that's the easiest way. And whenever they do that, they are creating climate change-induced problem for us. They are creating health problems for themselves. How many of our people not knowing to them that are now having respiratory problems or having cancer because of this plastic?
The ban was followed by a massive sensitization campaign to further furnish the public, as well as an inventory exercise to major plastic importers and manufacturers in the Greater Banjul area for monitoring purposes.
The inventory exercise is the state could have come out and just go in and confiscate these plastics. But we know people did invest in it, and we did strategize. Our stakeholders, that is the National Environment Agency with the other stakeholders like the securities and all those people, even the producers, the importers of these plastics were with us. When we strategized, we said what we can do for them is go and make an inventory of all the plastic that is in the country. Then we can strategize further until the time it could be completely phased out in this country.
The challenge here is to have a clear idea of the amount of remaining stockpiles of plastic in some of the major plastic manufacturing firms and stores. And this was the focus of the visit by the NEA officials. A trip that took them to stores in the Kanifing industrial area and Banjul's business district in their attempt to race against the deadline. Many of the major importers and store owners have already cleared their remaining stockpiles. Only a few store owners, among them Abdullah and MOMODOU Selu Jallo of Banjul Wellington Streets, were found with a huge collection of the plastic bags. Elsewhere at the Gamplas, in the Kanifing Industrial Estate, one of the country's major plastic manufacturers have already ceased operations, since the coming of the ban.
As far as security is concerned, I'm from Joint Operations Center, JOC, who is part of the task force for this exercise. We have seen what we have done. We are not forcing the law onto anybody, but the law has started today. Let everybody knows that on the 1st of July is a ban on plastics. This is an executive order, and the security have to carry it, which is mandated by the task force, which we are part of.
The parties concerned were given questionnaires for registration and declaration to the task force, the types and quantities of all plastic bags, while the team sensitized them on the means of venturing into other businesses by importing biodegradable plastic bags or paper bags. The store owners were also advised not to sell their remaining products in the country. The task force is expected to prepare a report on their fact-finding mission on the anti-plastic campaign for legal guidance. But until the end of this painstaking duty, attention will be on the crucial efforts of ridding the Gambia of plastic and its related problems. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Winifred Nicole Hodibat.
Members of the Banjul-based foundation called Fisabilillah recently shared a fast-breaking meal with scores of worshippers at Tobacco Road Mosque. The body, as Educator reports, was set up a couple of years ago with the aim of reaching out to the needy.
Part of the teachings of Islam is to help the needy, especially during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. And this was exactly the deed of the charitable foundation in Banjul, Fisabilillah, which on Friday reached out to worshippers at Tobacco Road Mosque. The foundation's delivery of food for the breaking of fast, according to organizers, is a move anchored on the basis of sharing and caring with the Muslim Ummah.
This organization has been in existence for a while now, and every year when Ramadan arrives, they would replicate the same thing, try to ensure that Muslims who have been fasting for the sake of Allah are provided with a very pleasant meal or a very delicious meal for that matter to break their fast for the sake of Allah, as stated in the banner, Fi Sabilillah, that is just for the sake of Allah.
An Arabic word meaning for the sake of God. Sandigi Njai further went on to say that Fi Sabilillah, as its name implies, has been gradually working on selfless sacrifice.
It has been running on a small scale, but year before last year and this year, it is moving into a wider scale. So we're calling on all beloved Muslims to join hands and support this organization to ensure that this practice reaches every corner of this country.
Speaking on behalf of the foundation's women folk, Mamse Njai Sane, after expounding on the need to nurture the culture of sharing with the needy, added that Fisabilillah Foundation was formed on such ideology.
Our organization is Iftar Fisabilillah, and Iftar is the breaking of fast. And sometimes you know that there are many people outside here that cannot provide for themselves when it's time for breaking their fast. So that's why we took the initiative and said, let's go out and see what we can do for our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters. As you can see today, at least we are achieving our goals. This is all about giving and sharing.
The Imam of Tobacco Road Mosque, Fode Kaba Dumbuya, thanked the city-based foundation for their benevolence, especially during the holy month of fasting. They mobilized their own money and resources, prepare food and give it to Muslims to break their fast, he told GRTS, adding that it is in line with the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Having prayed for Almighty Allah's reward to all the contributors, Imam Dumbuya called on other Muslims to emulate Fisabilillah, whose intervention during Islam's holiest month is a move in the right direction. Aissatou Keita, GRTS.
The report by Aissatou Keita takes us to our first break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In Greece, public opinion there is divided as the country gears up for the referendum. The government has indicated that it will resign if the people don't, but the head of the Eurogroup said a no vote could force Greece out of the Eurozone. That's not the end of it. As we in this report, divisions have also emerged elsewhere in Eurozone.
Gathering in front of the Parliament in Athens, these demonstrators are going to vote yes in Sunday's referendum. But there's a loud no campaign too. Not only Greece is divided by the upcoming referendum, but Europe as a whole. Germany says nothing can be done until the outcome of the vote is known. We'll wait for the result of the referendum. Before that, we won't be able to discuss any further bailout packages. That's an attitude which not only many Greeks find patronising. Other countries also want more talks to take place quickly, preferably before Sunday. There's a split within the Eurozone between the economically stronger states and those in a weaker position. In particular, the southern countries, Italy, Spain and Portugal, see a risk of contagion if Athens leaves the euro. People could think that maybe another country could abandon it in the future. I think that would be the most serious problem that this could generate. France is taking a similar stance. President Hollande called for the preservation of what Europe stands for. It's our duty to keep Greece in the Eurozone. That depends on Greece, whether it stays in the Eurozone or not, and if there is a referendum, on Greeks. But it also depends on us. As a European, I don't want the dislocation of the Eurozone. Sunday's referendum raises not only the question of Greece's future, but also of the rest of Europe. Protesters gather.
We take our second break now. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and to sports now. The home-based Scorpions are continuing their preparations ahead of Saturday's encounter with the Teranga Lions of Senegal. MOMODOU S. Jallo was at the Scorpions training grounds, and he now tells us more about the build-up to the showdown.
Stadium for our continuous build-up to the Gambia-Senegal game. Remember, the Gambia will be hosting Senegal in the CHAN qualifiers, that is the return leg of qualifiers for Rwanda 2016. The Gambia have a monumental task, that is a very difficult task in trying to turn down a 3-1 deficit. Remember, Senegal won the first leg in Dakar by 3-1. A brace from Mamadou Niang and 1 goal from Abdoulaye Ba secured Mustafa Sek's side a 3-1 victory over the home-based Scorpions. The task now for the Gambia and for Peter Bono Johnson and his charges is to turn the 3-1 deficit. The Gambia must score 2 goals and deny Senegal from scoring in order to progress to the next round of qualifiers. The team has since on Monday been in camp trying to prepare very well ahead of the game. Peter Bono Johnson has made some changes to the side. He has brought in some new faces, the likes of Alhaji Ba of Real de Banjul, and of course Emil Sambo and Joe Gomez, the Walidan goalkeeper, are brought into the squad to bolster the squad ahead of Saturday's game. Emil Sambo is a powerful striker who many people believe his physicality can contribute immensely to the team, especially playing against a very physical Senegalese side. The team is preparing hard. They have just had a test game with some of the country's foreign-based players who are currently on holiday in the Gambia, the likes of Tijan Jaita, the likes of Sol Mar, the likes of Hamza Bari. And this is a very, very good move, and that will definitely help the local-based players to gain some experience from the foreign-based players, and it will help them to adequately prepare for the game. Well, we also spoke to some of the GFF officials, that is the media officer Bakari B. Balde, and also Ibrahim Mane, the technical director, to hear from them the level of preparations in terms of logistics and also the technical preparation ahead of Saturday's game.
Here you see them on training, meaning therefore that they are very well in shape. We have seen some new commitment in their faces. They have been encouraged, they are being boosted by the inclusion of some foreign-based players that is meant to entice them, to give them encouragement, and to also engender competition and participation as far as the encounter on Saturday is concerned. Covered pavilions on the day would be $50, uncovered at $25, and VIP would only be $300.
I think Senegal prepared well. That's what we did since we came back. What we did, we reviewed the game, look at the feedbacks and work on the feedbacks. And since then, we all collaborated, the technical staff of the CHAN team and the national team and the technical and development committee. We all collaborated and come up with solutions. And I think looking at the training, every proceedings, every day, it looked like we become very confident and we are very hopeful that the preparation is adequately getting on board.
Remember, the Gambia needs to win 2 goals without a reply in order to progress to the next stage. But for now, the task at hand is to overturn the 3-1 deficit against the Senegalese here at the Independence Stadium on Saturday at 4 p.m. They are also soliciting the cooperation of the general public, especially the football fans. They are urging the football fans to come and give them that support because they alone cannot do it. They also need the support of the fans. The fans can play a crucial role. And come Saturday, when we make this place a hell for the Senegalese, can also entice, can also encourage the boys to give out their best. And though it is difficult to turn down a 3-1 deficit, but it is not mission impossible, and the boys are determined and they are ready to go out for it. Mohamed S. Jallo, GRTS Sports at the Independence Stadium.
Well, we wish the home-based Scorpions best of luck on their encounter on Saturday. We now join the Weather Center for the day's weather outlook.
Everything as you know it starts here. That simple promise of a harvest after planting is nature's service to the community that you and I are a part of. We carry on bonding and sharing because the feeling to serve is mutual. But that promise between us, the sun and the land, is what gives us the hope to carry on. And as it was in the beginning, we started with a belief to serve. Elton, a new vision of service.
Hello there, wonderful viewers. Welcome to the weather segment. Isolated thunder activities affected the country yesterday evening, whilst the satellite picture indicates rain-bearing clouds over parts of Gulf of Guinea, likewise the central and eastern parts of Africa. Tonight will be partly cloudy across the country, whilst over the eastern sector it will be relatively warm and humid. Tomorrow morning it will be variably cloudy with thunderstorm, particularly over the eastern sector, and these conditions will give way to a relatively warm and variably to partly cloudy conditions thereafter. Surface winds will be westerlies over the coastal areas, while southwesterlies over the inland areas. The speed will vary between 5 and 20 kilometers per hour. Minimum temperatures across over the greater Banjul areas, it will vary from a minimum of 24 degrees Celsius to a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. Over West Coast, North Bank and Lower River, it will vary from a minimum of 25 degrees Celsius and to a maximum of either 36 or 37 degrees Celsius. Over Central and Upper River region, it will vary from a minimum of 26 degrees Celsius to a maximum of either 35 or 37 degrees Celsius warm. Low tide to be 0.2 meters at 3 a.m. rather, and also at 4 p.m. High tide to be 1.8 meters at 10 a.m. and 1.6 meters at 10 p.m. Waves will vary between 1 to 2 meters high, northwesterly swells. The sun will rise at 22 minutes to 7 in the morning and will set at 21 minutes to 8 in the evening. Thanks for watching, and from the Central Forecast Office, I am Hadijatu Abdul Hakim.
Thank you very much for that weather update. And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. Thousands of volunteers from across the country and the neighboring Casamas region have descended on Kanilai for the latest round of pre-planting exercise. more fleet to ease road transportation. Gambia Transport Service Company has rolled out new fleet of buses as part of the company's drive to expand and modernize its operations. A team comprising National Environment Agency officials and members of the task force on the ban against the manufacturing, importation, retailing and use of plastic bags in the Gambia has embarked on a visit to plastic manufacturers and store owners in the Kanifing Industrial Area and Banjo. Will Greece stay out or opt out of the Eurozone? Athens, embattled government and a worried Eurozone have disagreed about the future direction of Greece ahead of a crucial referendum. Well, that was all in this edition of the News at 10. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Do stay with GRTS and enjoy the rest of our interesting programs. Bye-bye.